Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and today I'm taking you on an adventure. That's the only way I can word this. Okay, a couple of weeks ago you saw me create my dump journal. I will put a link in the description box below for anyone who wants to see how I made this. And the point of doing this was I wanted to be able to experiment, to do stuff I haven't done before, to basically create without giving a damn whether it's right, wrong, indifferent or ugly or whatever, just throwing stuff down. And I made this out of brown paper bags. As you can see, I think in one of my previous label videos, I cleaned off some paint on here. But what I did is after I made this, I painted every single piece of this with clear gesso. And it was just this clear gesso. I did that because I've never painted on brown paper bags before, and my art side makes me think that the brown paper bag is not meant to carry a load of wet mediums. So I thought, right, let's just put some sort of barrier down because I have no idea what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first signature out of here, and I'm going to have a go. I'm just going to have a go. I don't know whether I'm starting in the front, in the middle, in the beginning. I don't really know. So as with everything that's new, we all have a fear of breaking the first page. So you know what? Let's just do something about that. I've got one of these Tim Holtz crayons. And I'm just going to write start. There you go. Right. I've now defiled the whole journal, so therefore no need to worry, I can do whatever I want in it. And that will just become part of whatever I put on there. Because it's a water-soluble crayon, that word will disappear. But I don't know what I'm starting on the front page anyway. I think I want to be a little... I thought there were smaller pages. Let's just start here. Okay, right, first of all, I want to pull these two in. These are just some, this did start life as one mat. It's sort of a cleanup mat. I think it's a heat resistant mat as well. I've had it some time. When I bought this, I thought it was the Tim Holtz one. Turns out it wasn't. It was a rip-off one from another country. But anyway, when it arrived, it was smaller than I thought it was going to be. And I cut it in half, and this is what I do with it now. So anyway, so I'm going to work on this. Now, I did decide whether I wanted to do a single or a double, and I thought, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound, let's just do all of it. Things I pulled out. I pulled out my matte medium by Liquitex, my basics, because I'm going to stick stuff down to it. I've also pulled out black gesso and white gesso, because why not? And also I pulled out my box of warm coloured acrylics. I split my acrylics into 3 boxes. I have a warm box, I have a cool box, and then I have a box that's got like shimmers and metallics and blacks and whites and things like that in it. So basically I thought, you know what, I'm more comfortable working with a warm coloured family. So for the very first time, why don't I do this? Now it's funny because this morning I actually watched a video by Darcy Sanders doing a masterboard, and she was a little disheartened. Poor Darcy was trying to get through, and I must admit, I started saying to the screen, Darcy, it looks amazing, but Darcy couldn't see it, if you know what I mean. And I do feel that she needs to do what we all said, which is trust the process. Because when she got to the end of it, I went, you know what? Those are actually lovely, interesting, layered pieces of art. And actually, I'm going to link that video below because it's well worth seeing, because I was enjoying the process and what the end result was. It may not have been everybody's style, but I really loved it. And yet Darcy was looking at it, I wouldn't say as a failure, it just didn't go in the direction she wanted. Anyway, so I need somehow to start. Now I thought, do I get inspiration? Do I go in with a purpose? Do I just slap stuff down? And I need something. So I pulled in this box. Now this box is full of all of my scraps from different projects. The bits of, these are on paper, these are on, some are on card. Actually, what are these? Yeah, these are paper as well. So I just thought I might come across something in here that I can just use as a starting point. And if it goes on the page and it doesn't get used, oh, I didn't create that. Who created that? I like that. That might become what I use. Right, well, these, oh, that's another one I like too. I have a feeling I've just received that. I'm terrible. I forget where things come from. There's another piece of it. Oh, I might put those there for maybe the next time I do this. You know, why am I hunting? This is really drawing me to it. So now, this is purely a starting place. Just somewhere where I can put something down to know that I've started. Now, it could end up this is not seen in the final thing. It could end up as it is seen in the final thing. I don't know. But first of all, take those white edges off it, because I know I probably, if there's a white edge, I'm going to spend time trying to cover up the white edge. Just be easier to take it off in the first place. Now, I absolutely adore it when I see people work in their art journal and they literally throw things onto a page, and by the end of it, there's this absolutely magnificent thing, and they maybe put a saying or a phrase, or they write something across it. I'm not sure I'm going to write. I don't like my handwriting, and I might put a saying or a phrase across it, but only if I've got it in a printed out form. Anyway, I love seeing what people do. And I'd like to be able to do it myself. And, you know, part of this is just believing that I can. And I do think I can. I'm going to view this as an abstract. Let's just put it that way. So I'm just going to pull in bits. I'm going to view this as an abstract. If you sent me this, by the way, and I know this isn't mine, so someone has to have sent me this. Thank you very much. It's going to be my inspiration for working on here. So I'm trying to not be predictable, but I'll probably end up being predictable. Not that there's anything wrong with being predictable, I suppose. I tend to fall into creating in a format, in that I'll put something there, something there, something there, or I'll put something there, something there, something there. It just happens to be the way that my brain works. Right, let's just put something down there. I would quite like something across the middle. Let's just do something. Right, these two little bits can go to one side. You never know when I'm going to need a scrap. Right, I'm going to fold this down the middle as well, just so I can work it down into the join. Right, get it stuck down, Griffiths. Now over to my right, I've got my ceramic tile. It's, if I put it there, you might be able to see a little bit. Actually, kind of move this over completely so you can see what I'm doing there as well. I'm not used to filming this sort of project, so forgive me if things drop out of shot. Not my intent. So a little bit of that down to start with. Don't need a huge amount. One thing I don't like about Liquitex, you can't get the lid off, so you can't put it back in again. And that annoys me, because half the time I will actually pull out more than I need, and then I have to find a small container to put it in. So I'm just going to come in, put this piece down. As I said, I don't know the direction this is going in, and you're probably going to get sick to death of hearing me go, "Ooh, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know." That's because it's a new thing for me. I have done abstract before. I kind of done this sort of process on my gel plate, as in creating stuff, but not 100% like this. Right, now all I'm trying to do is just get the start of something. And it is just the start of something. Now, I am probably going to be pausing the video from time to time because I'm probably going to go, ooh, I could just do with this and I could just do with that, and I need to go and find them. Or I'll need to grab them, do you know what I mean? Because I know that I've got stencils as well that I'm probably going to pull in and things of that nature. Why am I getting so fixated about air bubbles already? Let's just call it texture, Griffiths. I'm going to need a bit more for that, aren't I? So, I'm trying to think who I can name that I see do this sort of stuff. I watch... Oh, Lord, I've forgotten who they are already. Well, Darcy Sanders for a start. Shanuki Art. I've seen her in the past do stuff like this. I want to say Mike Deacon does something similar, but more in a three-dimensional type of way. I'm not going to struggle to find names for you guys. Just believe me, there are plenty of mixed media artists out there who I really admire who do this sort of stuff. Right, a little bit of that's left there. Let's just lay a damp cloth over that. Oh, it's not even damp, is it? Oh, it is damp. Right, leave that damp cloth over there, and that might just give me something to think about. Right, background. Right, I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to get some white gesso. And what I'm going to do, yeah, finger paint time. I'm just going to come in. I'm just going to put on some white gesso, just to break up what is actually happening on this page, and also to try and blend in some of those edges. Not that they need blending in, I just would feel better if they were blended in. And also, if I'm going to create something that's got light and shade in it, I would need some light. So, don't go into the light, don't go into the light. Never mind, anyone who knows that reference, you will know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I think a lot of this process works if you don't think too hard. Famous last words from me, obviously, but if I try to not think too much, then I think it might work. Actually, I'm going to need that because I don't want that across the top of that. I don't mind blending around the edges. I quite like this piece of paper there. It's not sacrosanct. If it needs to go or it gets covered up in the end, that's fine. It's just at the moment, maybe not. Right, so we've got that on there. Let's blend that around a little bit. And that around a little bit, right. Remember, from the start, make marks. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to put something down. Now, anything I'm putting down here may or may not end up disappearing entirely. That bit of glue just needs to go, doesn't it? Because I've already got it on my hand and on my jacket. My top, not my jacket. Right. I'm also going to have to pause and dry things as we go along. Right, so I've got oranges, reds, yellow as a component. Let's bring in some yellow. I've got some of these. I've owned these for years, well, since they came out. And do I use them? Do I heck? Right, okay. That's not going to be incredibly yellow because it's over brown paper. But when I hit it with some water, I'm hoping it's going to be able to be moved around. What one is this? This is carved pumpkin. I like a nice bit of pumpkin. Right, let's go. I've got a little jar of water here. I don't have access to running water in my studio because basically it's a converted bedroom. So I always have a bowl of water or something with me. So let's just get that on the move. Okay, that brightened that up a bit. This feels so alien. So alien to be making a mess like this. Or creating. Should I just say creating? That's probably what I should be calling it. Oops, did I knock you out of shot? I didn't knock you out of shot. Darcy, I hope you know the monster you've created. Right, let's put that brush out the way over there. Right, I'm going to bring in some kitchen towel, or kitchen paper as I call it. And I'm going to pick up some of this just because I can. Right. Now we're getting something. And remember, background, Griffiths. I think I'd like to put something into the background that just establishes things now. So I've done that. Let's see. That's quite a dark red there. So what's this? Country red? That's not the right red. I'm thinking more of a raspberry type colour. Crimson. Raspberry's got some pinkiness to it. I'm not sure that raspberry's the right colour. Yeah, let's have a little bit of raspberry for what I'm thinking of doing anyway. Right. Now, I am probably going to be visiting techniques I use a lot in my gel printing because they're my comfort zone. Okay, so please understand that this is the first time I've done this. So we're starting out, let's just say, a little bit safer than normal. So I'm going to grab bubble wrap because I trust bubble wrap. I'm going to spread this raspberry paint out a bit. Just like that. I'm going to pick some up. I'm using bubble wrap because there's circles in this already. And I must keep saying to myself, not necessarily you, but myself, that I need to trust the process. Because that's what I always tell everyone else to do. Right, that's that bit done. Now I think in true form of being creative, I think I'm going to pull the other signature out of the book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a cleanup. So if I've got stuff like that on the page, then let's just not waste it. Let's clean it up. And that could become something for a future project. Right, let's wipe this up because I don't want it contaminating my next thing. These sleeves are beginning to annoy me now. They keep falling down. It's an old sweatshirt that I really like, but it's one of those sweatshirts that, you know, you've owned it for several years. It's been in and out of the washing machine. It's been worn to death. It's comfortable. That's what it is. Right, I think I want to come in and I'm going to dry this. So all I've done is I pulled out, I've got my small travel hairdryer. It's the one I use for art. Obviously, I don't have hair. Why would I have a hairdryer? So back again, that's relatively dry. I'm not planning to dry it 100%. Now, I think something I should have done, learning curve, I think I should have put some text or something into the background as well as just these three pieces. But you know what? I could do that now. Should I do that now? Maybe I should do that now. What have I got? What was this? There's a bit of Tim Holtz tissue. Actually, there are a couple of bits of Tim Holtz tissue. Let's just stick these on. Okay, stuff that's in my scrap drawer. So let's just get those stuck on. It's funny, I've just dried this and I could really have waited to do this and then dry it. Don't really like that absolutely straight edge there. So I'll be interested to find out whether you guys do this sort of stuff. I'm absolutely certain some of you do. I'm sure some of you are going to be very kind and give me hints and tips as to what I may have done differently. But then, journey of discovery. As I said, journey of discovery. Okay, that's better. It's just giving me something up there. Take this bit off here. It's also slightly weird doing something that's not a 12 by 12, because as you know, I tend to do quite a lot of 12 by 12s. So, interesting. So, let's press that down. I'm using matte medium and not a glue stick for the simple reason glue stick is basically water-based. And I think if I use a glue stick, over time it may just come off again. I'm just going to pop that bit there. Just a little bit more of the medium. Yeah, it was a pity that Darcy didn't feel entirely happy with what she created this morning. Actually, what is this morning for me? This morning is Friday for me, so don't know what day this is launching on. So I'll try and put the link in. Well, I will put the link in because I'll make a note when I'm editing. But yeah, because I understand where Darcy was coming from. Because sometimes when you start the process and it's going in a direction that you're not 100% certain of, you tend to get a little disheartened. And then at that point, not only do you get disheartened, you can't see the good that you're creating. And it happens to me all of the time because I'll get fixated on one thing that isn't working. And then before I know it, I haven't even finished the process. I've thrown it out and started again. Trust the process has been a huge lesson for me. Right. I pulled in a couple of my stencils, which I have obviously never used, called scattered numbers. I'll put a link to all of my products. I'll just put Ceri Griffiths designs on PM Artist Studio. I'll just put one link to all my designs because I'm not going to go through trying to find every single design now. I'm going to use Payne's Grey because I think it may be too early on in the process to be using black. I know Payne's Grey is pretty dark, but it does look different to black. I'm just going to use a makeup sponge, a very soft makeup sponge apparently. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and I'm just going to dab some of it through. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm just looking for a hint of something in the design. If I get whole numbers, I get whole numbers. If I get part numbers, that is also fine with me. They may never be seen at the end of the day. I quite like the number 4. It's one of my favourite numbers. So that can go up there. Because this is created to be used in any direction, I can literally just come in here and twist it. And then by turning it 90 degrees, it won't look exactly like the one over there. That can go to one side to be cleaned later. And then I'm going to use a smaller version. Let's just try and do this slightly differently. See if I can go across here. Challenge. Yeah, I think I've got that. Now, I said I was going to stay with the warm family of colours, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I feel comfortable. I pretty much are drawn to warm colours and I am cool colours, although in saying that, I absolutely love cool colours. Go figure. So I'm just going to come in with this scraper, or this credit card, and I'm just going to put in some marks. Because why wouldn't I? I might have to pull in some stamps afterwards too. See, I'm avoiding the middle. Have you noticed, for those of you who follow me, that I usually start on the edges and then I always seem to forget the middle? I don't know why I do that. It's not even a conscious thing. Right, this has got some interesting marks on it. Let's just pick it up. Oh, it's not picking anything up, is it? Let's just give this some of this love. I'm liking the fact that I'm actually starting another page already. Right, that's that bit. It's looking very nice and grungy. Right. I still feel I'm seeing too much of the brown. So it makes me think I need to put a bit of opaqueness on here. Also, with all that black I've just put on there, I need to make sure I don't touch the black because it's going to move. Right, I thought I had chalk paint. Right, I've got a grey chalk paint. Not sure, but let's give it a go. This might be up there with my doodling. When I started doing doodling, I was very apprehensive, anxious, even probably worse than that. And I really struggled with my doodling. And now I really love my doodling. And I think I'm getting quite acceptable with my doodling, to be honest with you. I'm not being boastful. I'm just trying to be supportive of my doubting voice by knocking it back a bit, because I really do think I've found kind of my stride with doodling. Right. That bit in there's really bothering me. Right. I think I want to put some shapes in there. Let's just come in with the end of a cash register roll and just put something in there. I'm not even thinking at this point. God, this feels so weird to just be slapping paint down. Let's put some of those on here as well, because I've got it on the go. I might as well. Yeah, I was thinking, I might have said it in a previous video. So when I've used the brown bag up in one of these signatures, I think I might try other things, like might do music paper as a signature. I might do maps, because goodness knows I have more than enough maps around. Right, there you go. That's kind of, there you go. I'm just building that up. Right, this can go back in the drawer from whence it came. So I feel it's getting interesting. It's not 100% dry, as I said. I'm just going to dry bits. I feel my gut is telling me I want something purple. Now, I did pull a couple of other purples out, but this plum purple is the one I'm really leaning to. I mean, I also looked at this purple as well. This just feels right. This feels more of a warmer tone. So I'm just going to pull some of that out. Now the question is, how do I want to add it? It's looking very, very busy, and that's okay. I don't mind very, very busy, because I know this is just layers. There's going to be stuff on top. There's going to be, at one point, I may put transparent white or white over parts of this and really knock it back. I wonder. I think I'm just going to use my gut. Sorry, that's how I do a lot of things. I'm just going to come in and almost dry brush with this, if that makes sense. A little bit in there. This one section just doesn't seem to want to take anything I throw at it. Right. Was that the right thing to do? I don't know. Let's just wipe that up a little bit. Right, now I don't think this is wet. So let's just get a little water on. On the cleanup cloth, because I think I want to come in and try and now smear some of that off. So it's got more of a transparent weather-worn look. And also it breaks up some of the harsh edges I've just put on there. Okay, I'm kind of liking where this is going, although probably not everybody's taste, but I'm getting there. Right, now I think at this point, I want to come back in and put some more white on here. Do I want to use a paintbrush? Probably not. Probably going to just use my fingers again. Right, and try and not contaminate my gesso. Actually, I don't want it in straight lines. So, again, not like me in the slightest. Now, I did like before going through this with the end of my paintbrush, and this time I think I'm going to be slightly more purposeful and make it almost look like writing of some sort. Okay, getting there. I'd like that bit there to be a little more covered. Right. Okay, I think it's drying time again here. So I think I'm at what I would refer to as the hot mess stage. Trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. That's what I need to keep telling myself. Now I've got this really old brayer, and it's a weird brayer in it leaves funky marks, and it's always been, why is there a dog hair on it? Actually, that's not even a dog hair. It can't be one of my hairs. Goodness, always that's picked up. It's a funny brayer that it never dries out. It's always sticky. So I tend to use it for textural things. And I think I'm going to come in with this colour, pastel yellow. I know it's reasonably opaque. And what I want to do is I want to, oh, squeaky noise, sorry about that. I want to come in with my brayer. I want to load up my brayer. Now, granted, I would normally be doing this on a gel plate, but I don't mind because see what it's doing is it's creating textural pieces on the brayer. And then I'm just going to swipe. And my aim is that it actually lightens a lot of things up. And I think that's enough. So what I need to do now is I'm just going to do the same on here. This is going to be an interesting page when I get around to it, isn't it? Because goodness knows this is going to be a hot mess before I even start. But you know, I'm not wasting product. And as Scarlett O'Hara said, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. If that's a quote I'm allowed to use. So, but there you go. Okay, liking that. It's becoming something. Right, this needs to just be cleaned off a bit. Yeah, I don't know why it's almost as if the rubber that the brayer is made of has started to perish. It just almost stays sticky. It's a weird one. Right, now I want to spend a couple of seconds now just thinking. So I said yellow, and that's more cream. That's fine with me. I would also like to put a bit of orange in here so that I pull that orange through. I intend putting red in here eventually. So let's see, what sort of oranges have I got? I didn't think I had orange for a second. There's orange. Actually, there's that. That's too pinky. I don't want that. It's this one. Now, I don't want to rub it on. I don't want to use my fingers on it. I want to dab it on with something. Ooh, got one of my favourite mark making tools. This one. This was a pot trivet that I picked up in Michael's sales bin, to be honest with you, when I was in America last year. So, and it was on sale, and I went, I can do something with that. So I'm just putting my orange out. I'm just going to pick up with this and drop it down. See, it's subtle, and I'm liking that. I need to start thinking of, I don't want to call it a focal point. I just want to, I need something to go on here that is almost a focus, something to rest the eye, basically. Right, here you go, mister. You can have some of this on you. I don't know whether I'm liking this better than that at the moment. Let's just open up a page and pick up that, because I'm not wasting that on there either. There you go. Right. I need a cloth for that. So, where are we up to? It's a pity this isn't alive. Please don't ask me, guys. I'm just not comfortable doing a live. The thought of trying to deal with all the technology, plus be creative, plus have a conscious stream of voicing my ideas and thoughts and process, trying to answer comments, and just it would just overwhelm me. I couldn't do it, or I could do it, but it wouldn't be something that I would feel happy about. So don't ask, it's not going to happen. Right, I am kind of liking that now. I mean, it'll probably look better when I move these sheets out as well. But I think I'm going to do some swipes in white. Quite purposeful. Purposeful? I can't say that. I'm going to swipe with a purpose. Does that help? Because goodness knows it helped me. Okay, I think that's what I want. I need my friend Darcy on the other end of the phone. That's what I need. Darcy, what do I do? You trust the process, Griffiths. You trust the process. Right, I think I'm getting to where I'm happy with this. I don't know what the end result is. I just feel like I'm doing things with hoping that it's going to work. But I do want to, I think I need drama in this for a start. I'm at the point where I think I need to add black. And once I've added black, I need to consider, am I going to put something else onto the page? And I don't know. Right, if I was to add black, what would I add black with? I've got stamps, obviously I've got stamps, I designed stamps. I think I'm going to go with some sort of grid. Right, I've got this stuff, which I think is packaging, because I've had it yonks. Right, and I think I want to go with some black gesso. That's quite a lot of black gesso there, Griffiths. So, yeah, it's funny. I've started using black and white gesso because it's cheaper than black and white paint. So, well, it is here anyway. Right, so if I come in, pick that up, place it down. Okay, right, I think that's going to make me happy. Excuse my arm being in the way. I am being quite conscious of my verticals and my horizontals here, because if these lines were in a diagonal, I probably wouldn't cope very well. Don't ask me, don't know, just the way I'm wired. Right, that's more than enough for that. Right, I'm going to have to clean this up. I have to clean that up, but I'm going to have to dry this now, because the moment I put anything else on here now, it's just going to lift that black off. So that's relatively dry, and I think I've accomplished the background. Yes, I think we can call that done as a background. I feel it needs red. Actually, wouldn't mind a metallic in there as well. But what I think I need to do is I think I want to have a look through my box here and see if there's anything in here that speaks to me that I might cut a shape out of. Triangle, square, circle, oval, torn shape. Just, it needs somewhere now to be a focus. So, oh, actually, yeah, it's another day. I love that, but it needs to be another day. So I can't really move this in any closer. So hopefully you're seeing what I'm seeing over my shoulder. I kind of don't know what I want. That's my biggest problem. Ooh. Let's leave that one out. That one speaks to me. Does this one speak to me then? No. See, that just doesn't speak to me. No, that's too samey. This is the reason why I make lots of papers and lots of stuff, so that I have a resource I can dip into. I am focusing quite heavily on reds at the moment, so I just need, oh, if that was, actually that's, let's leave that out as well. You never, oh, I got that as, oh, that's very, how can I tell that I did that? Does that look familiar, people? Right, oh, what's this? No, it's the wrong red. I wonder whether I went completely in the opposite direction. No, it's not right. No. Oh. But I do like the idea of copper or something with this. So I'm wondering whether that will be too lost. And there's not enough of that, so I need to step away from it. Right. Oh, bits of that would work. Not really. I just don't know what I'm looking for, guys. And have you ever been in that situation where you don't know what it is until you find it? I mean, I love this piece, but that's all I've got left of it because I've already used it because I loved it so much. I wonder. No, it needs to be something other than orange. No. That's too samey. I have a feeling I may not have what I'm looking for. Ooh, isn't that gorgeous? Let's just leave that one out a second. One may need, someone sent me that. Can't remember who that was. That will get used for another one of the pages, I feel. Thank you for the inspiration, guys, if you've sent me stuff. As you can see, I do keep it. I do use it. I just haven't got around to using it yet, maybe. Now I did want to stay abstractish. Abstractish, is there such a word? Abstract, right. There's nothing more in there. I've just got these two. Put that down over there. I think that might just look a little bit too busy. Whereas if I had pieces of this, see, it's got almost that color. I think I'm going to do this, right? This can go by. Right, I pulled out anything that's round in my mark making box. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to mark some circles on the back of this with my pencil. Because I can't cut a perfect circle to save my life. But if I've got something drawn, I could at least get close to it. That'll do. So a little bit of a mystery now because we don't know what the other side's going to look like. Oh, good grief. I just looked out of my studio window. It is absolutely bucketing it down out there. I thought it had gone a bit darker. I sort of got an idea formulating in my brain at the moment. So we've just gone from a fade to a fade. That's because I thought it was really boring watching me cut all of these, and I decided you didn't need to watch it. So I've cut circles in different sizes, and I like the idea of playing with them. But when I was cutting them, I had a very bold, what I would call a very, very bold idea. I think I want to put quite a big patch of white somewhere on here and maybe a patch of white on here. In what format? I mean, my brain wants to mask this off and do a perfect white, but I think I'm not going to do that because I want to stick these down afterwards. I think I'm going to come in and I'm not going to use white gesso. I'm actually going to use white. And I think I need to find a reasonably large paintbrush. Gosh, this paintbrush has seen better days, should we say, but it might actually be exactly what I need. So I'm going to put a reasonable amount down. I can get this into another pot, so I don't mind about this. And I really want to just load up my paintbrush. Is it bigger than the circle? It is bigger than the circle. I'd like it a bit longer. And I want another piece down here. Maybe a cross. I think this paintbrush in itself is going to become a piece of art one day. Right, I think that's what I want. Yes, because I've got an idea for something else on here. Right, this needs to go in the jar of water, or else I will never get that little one clean. This definitely needs to dry now. So that's relatively dry. Now I did say I want to put some red in here, so I pulled out one of my stencils. This is Tribal Tendencies. However, I'm looking for... Where's it gone? There should be a design in here that... This one. Style 1. Because you can see it's a well-left stencil. And what I want to do is I just wanted to put something into the background that is just regimented, and this is where I'm going to use the red. So I'm going to use crimson red. I'm going to go blot it on and blot it off. I'm just going to pounce it up and down on the stencil just to transfer it through. And I'm going to build up the layers. I would rather build up the layers than do it in one big heavy swipe. And if it's perfect, it's perfect. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. We're not worrying about that sort of stuff anymore in this book. I can, however, lift this up and have a look. Yeah, I'm getting the sort of effect I was hoping for. I need more of it. Let's just hope it doesn't move. And I'd like it to come down reasonably far. Probably about that far, to be honest. As I said, it's taken me this long, but I think I'm finally coming up to the conclusion that I know the direction that this wants me to go in. Right. That's lovely. Right, I just want to come in and add a little bit of it down here, but not marrying that, not mirroring that shape. So I'm going to try and do more of a triangular shape here. This feels like a very long process. I have no idea how long this video is. I should imagine it's at least an hour and 15. So if at any point, by the way, guys, you wanted to fast forward, you know me, I don't mind you fast forwarding. I fast forward other videos. I just don't speed up videos because there's some people who just like to watch the whole process in real time. Let's take that off my fingers. That's more of what I wanted. Just leave that over there a second. Right, keep this sponge because there's another bit of sponge work I want to do. Where's that cloth gone? Right. Now my thinking is, if I pull these sleeves up, I have these circles and I have a plan for these circles. I'd quite like to have decreasing circles going up. So that will be the middle of that, then that, then that. And then this one may just be offset in some direction. I'm not quite sure. And then I've got one more stamp I want to do around this. Looking at that, I think I want to take this down a little bit in size. Always something very dodgy for me to do, just to ad-lib cutting a circle. I should really have drawn around something, but you know what? The brave are rewarded sometimes. There's that little bit off there. I think that's pretty darn good. So I think the next bit I'm going to do without you, because otherwise we're going to be stuck back and forth all the time. So I am going to dry this off and I'm going to attach this by there, that by there, and that by there with matte medium. And then this one, I don't know, this one will end up over here somewhere. So bear with me. I know I keep saying that, but I can't leave the video running because it'll be hours and hours and hours long. And you don't need to see me wafting a hairdryer around. So back in two, guys. So all stuck down. I don't know why. I tried putting this up there. It didn't work for me. I felt that I needed that balance there, and this will bother me. But this is a good lesson for me to let it go. Now, I pulled out my gel plate and my braid because the next bit will actually just benefit from me using gel plate. And what I want to do is I want to use these foam stamps called Nested Circles by PM Artist Studio. And what I want to do is I want to use the large one for that. And I want to use the small one, which is this one, to go around that one. And then it may be that this design is somewhere off there as well. Not 100% certain. We're going to play it by ear. I'm going to use just black, Mars Black acrylic paint. I have pulled out another stamp which I'm unsure I want to use, so I'm just going to keep that one to one side at the moment. So I'm just going to braid this out. Can you see? You can see. A reasonably thin layer. I don't want too much. Then I'm going to just tap this round till I can see that it's actually got a good coating on it. And then I'm going to come in and hopefully, I'm looking through an iPad here, I'm just going to set it down and let it sit for a second. That's what that needed. Then I'm going to come with the smaller one and do the same thing around the smaller one. Good, loving that. Now my instinct would be, could I use this one to join the two together? And I don't think I want to, looking at that now. I think that's okay. Now, the other one I bought in was this. And I really quite like the drama of this. And I just feel I want it. And I can't remember whose this is. The Nested Circles is PM Artist Studio. This is another designer for PM Artist Studio. Just can't remember who it is at the moment. So I'm just going to do something that, just do it, Griffiths. Don't procrastinate, just get the sucker down there. I don't know why that felt right to do, but that felt right to do that up there as well. Wish that was straighter, but it's not. I wonder. So I'll take this down here, just because I like the fact that it will draw the eye across. That's fine with me. I still have this up here to deal with, and I don't know how to deal with it. Now, if I did the circle but going off slightly, it would balance that, but would it be too balanced? If I put it here, I'm going to do it. I must remember this is my dump journal. I do feel something needs to be there. I just don't know what it is yet. Right. I don't want to add any more of these. In fact, I don't want to add any more of those that I've just added. But this needs something here. Put that so I don't forget where it is. This looks very busy. Or is it too busy? Actually, let's take these out because they're sort of creating a false illusion for me. And while I'm thinking about that, let's just get this on the go and just put some on here. Because it's never going to hurt to have those on there, is it? And actually, while we're at it, I might just put some on a page in here somewhere. There you go. I don't know what I want there. Why do I have to have it's a square? I do not know. I've had a thought. Right, let's move this out of the way before I get stuck to it. I'm going to have to major clean up after this, aren't I? Well, I know it's my fallback, but I'm going to use white. And I'm just going to put a bit of white into this up in that corner, because it could just be, it doesn't need anything except a bit of pattern. And that may just be what it needs. So I'm just smearing the white out, as you've seen me do 100 times before. And just pick up a piece. I don't mind that there. I wouldn't mind a little bit of it in there as well. I've got a feeling I might be spoiling this. Is it stopping me? No. Right, I think I need a cup of coffee and to step away from this for a few minutes, and then I need to come back. So I'm back. Looking at this with kind of fresh eyes, I have a feeling I might be closer to knowing what I need to do. I'm coming to terms with the fact that there's a blank spot there. Don't always need to fill that. I do feel there needs to be a focal point of some sort here, and I'm going to put in the number 4. As you heard me say before, no pun intended, my favourite number is number 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to hold it in place with sticky notes, because I know that everything behind this hasn't really been on here long enough to cure. By cure, I mean to completely and utterly dry. So all I'm going to do is just come in, mask this off. Now, I could use washi tape, obviously. I'm choosing not to for the simple reason that even the washi tape may pull up something. If this is, because you've got to remember, this is layers and layers of wetness on top of each other. So anyway, I'm just doing what my gut is telling me to do, to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to do the number in white. And then once I've done the number, a little tiny bit in there. Once I've done the number, I'm going to then outline it with a Posca pen later. Right. Actually, I think I've got some small ones somewhere. What's this? Oh, I know what that says. That's fine. So, right, so that's all on there. Let's just get some white. I'm going to use the white and not the white acrylic, because I want a good coating of the white on there. I want it to be a solid number. So I'm going to use the sponge again. Again, dab it on, dab it off, and just work my way in here now. I do have a bit of leeway here, because if it goes under the edge of the stencil, as I said, I'm going to go around the outside with a Posca pen anyway. It's probably going to be a black Posca pen, so that'll cover up a multitude of sins for me. So as you can see, I've done that, and if I lift this off now, I have a really crisp number 4. I'll deal with this afterwards. Now, looking at this, there was something else that bothers me. It's sort of, there's so much going on, it takes you off the page. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to come in with white, and I'm going to almost vignette this, give it a border without it having a border. It's going to be a border of white, but it's, I don't know, I just feel that this will calm a lot of things down and contain everything on this page. Now, anyone who's an arts person out there is probably going to tell me it's the wrong thing to do or the right thing to do. I don't know. I'm not a trained artist. I'm an artist who's trained in life. I'm an artist who's learned through experience. I've learned through watching others. I've learned through different ways of learning other than formal education. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I sometimes think when you're formally educated in something, it sometimes dampens your creativity. Personal view only, but I sometimes wonder whether people might benefit from just being allowed to explore their talent instead of going to an establishment to be honed down on the skill. Now, I would certainly had benefited by going to an art school, because it would have taught me things that even to this very day I may not know about. More in-depth color theory, more about perspective, more about scale and proportion, more about color balance, more about the play of light on objects. There are so many things I probably could benefit from. But you know what? I'm doing all right and I'm okay. I'm kind of hoping, not hoping, I do like this. I think for my very first attempt at doing one of these in this journal, I'm okay with this. Do you think that's right? I think that's okay. Right, let's pull in this, because goodness knows there's that many layers on this. This could do with a few more things on it. Let's just use up this spare paint here. Be interesting when I actually get to do this page. I'll be like, what the hell was I thinking? But you know what? I was thinking, save the paint, Griffiths, save the paint. Now, just by putting that white around there, it has changed the character of this page. Now, if I take these away, you can now see it's got a defining outline to it. Now, I might play with that. Like when I actually outline this, I might come in and put like a line of some sort around it. I'm not sure. Absolutely not sure. One thing I'm sure of, though, it all needs to dry. Guess what, guys? 2 seconds. And it's going to be the last one, because goodness knows, if this isn't done at the end of this 2 seconds, there's something wrong with me. Back in 2. So here we are, all nice and dry. And I've cleared away all the clutter because I think it'll focus on exactly what we have in front of us. Now, in drying this, I realized one of the things I'm missing from here, and things like that, as you look at something, you go into it, and it's this color. That's the only place really where this color shows. Now, the original inspiration for the piece has gone. I told you it may get lost. However, it did inspire other things. I like that. I'm really warming to that. So first thing I'll do, I've got my Posca pens over here. I'm going to pull out my Posca pens. Right, this is a PC3M. I never really know what all the numbers mean, but I'm going to do my best to outline this. Yes, that was what that, and that's what the whole page needed, was a focal point. This still in my mind bothers me, but I know over time it won't bother me anymore. Now, I'm going to use black on the edge, but I had an idea. In here, I have this Posca pen, which is, what's this one called? Raspberry. Now, I have a feeling we used raspberry in here, so I'm going to use this pen, and I'm literally going to draw a line around the whole thing. And I don't mind if it's wobbly, I don't mind if it's shaky. In fact, it might be beneficial if it's not a perfect line. You know me by now, you know I like to underline things, you know I like to frame stuff, and I think this is what was bothering me. There was no containment for this piece of art. There was nothing to finish it off. So that's that line. Already loving that. And then I'm going to use the black, and I'm going to do another line. I don't mind if the line crosses it, it dissects it, it misses it, whatever it wants to do, it can do. I like that. That to me, that was because it's pulled that color out. I know it's not exactly the color, but it's enough to pull it out. The black also frames it. And I've just suddenly had a realization about this space here. I just need to get something in it. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this down here and I'm going to sign it in this corner. What year is it? What month is it? It's February. February 2024. There you go. I'm happy with that. I own that piece of work. It's signed. I think everyone should sign their work. I'm happy with that. That I've got to dot my I. I'm not happy with that. There you go. So, thank you very much for your patience. I'm okay with that. That gave me enough confidence to be able to do this again. I mean, actually, you know, this one we're doing here, I quite like that. I did manage to throw some, oh, there's a handprint from me. I did manage to throw some paint onto other things. I thought I had more. Did I put on this one? Maybe I did. So anyway, that's where I got with that. As I said, thank you very much for accompanying me. It was my first page in my dump journal, and let me the first of many. I need to understand that even if it's abstract, I need a focal point. Even if a focal point is a splash of color, a shape, a line, or an absence of something. I think I was right to choose one color family because pretty much everything on there is the warm family, which is I felt comfortable in. Next time, maybe we'll go into cools. I don't know. So anyway, thank you for your patience. Very long video, I'm sure. I'm Ceri the Crafter, and I'll see you next time. That's Ceri, the Crafter. Goodbye now.